Hey everybody, this is Jeff Veale coming to you once again from downtown Manila with another amazing guest on 15 Minutes of Fame. Think of 15 minutes of fame, guys. Think about it. A TV commercial to do something like this would cost you over $30,000. And you know, people might hop up and make a cheese sandwich or a cup of coffee and miss the whole bloody commercial anyway, right? Or if you book 10 radio spots, they're going to set you back between $3,000 and $5,000, and they mightn't even turn their radio on. However, you can come on 15 Minutes of Fame totally free, and we'll put you on all the social media platforms: Snapchat, Torah, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course YouTube with all your links. And we'll put you all over the world and make you more famous than what you already are, all totally free. So what amazing opportunity you guys have for you who are smart enough to take advantage of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, because there are hundreds of guests already and they've got some amazing stories. So do yourself a favor, grab a cup of coffee one weekend, pick out the ones that you like and listen to their story. You might learn something. I've got a great guest today. Her name is Sarah, and Sarah is a physical therapist, and I'm having a look here, and also has a podcast. The podcast is called Holy Health, right? And it's been in the industry for some 20 years. So you get to know a bit after a while, guys, so you should listen to her. The motto of her business is fixing the past in order to build the future. Isn't that a great motto, guys? The podcast features interviews with health experts, followed by a biblical expert who helps out in the health information in context of where we can find it in the Bible, in the Old Testament. Our motto is God decides when you go. I love this one. And you decide how you get there. Isn't that awesome, guys? Right? It's so true, right? We don't know what tomorrow brings yet, guys. So live every day like it's your last one, right? Key achievements or projects through our audience is small and rather niche. I've been fortunate enough to have a number of very well-known guests in the health field. Personal motto or philosophy: there is no such thing as you fail your team or you grow. Everything you go through helps you become the person that you are today. That's like a tree, guys. If you're not growing, you're the opposite. You're dying. So keep growing. Right. Interesting fact about herself: a physical therapist. I've never had physical therapy, which is fair enough. I understand why. I moved to Israel in 1884 at the age of 15, and I thought wow, this is awesome. I'd have to ride a camel back to school. I went to 3 different high schools and skipped 12th grade. That's probably a good thing. That's why you're so smart today, because you're self-educated. That's the best way to go. It's my awesome pleasure to welcome to the show. Good afternoon, Sarah. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have this opportunity, and exactly what you said in your introduction is so true. Anybody who didn't take advantage of this, I think you'd have to be crazy. It's always great to meet new people, especially you're in Australia,
Yep,
sitting in, the Philippines. I'm an American sitting in Israel, and I just think this was an amazing opportunity.
absolutely. Let's get this underway. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your career. Where did it all start?
So I'll tell you. So, like I said, first came to Israel. I moved with my family when I was 15 in 1984, and I was dragged here. I thought I was going to have to ride my camel to school, and it was very different. Anybody who is familiar with what it's like to live in Israel nowadays, probably not most of your audience, but it's much easier to come and live in Israel as an American today. There's a lot of help available. There are so many Americans living here. But back in those days, it was kind of the Wild West. My parents actually brought guns with them on the plane. The
Wow.
pilot held them the entire way. Today, if you're going to have a gun, you have to get the gun in the country. You can't bring it over. It was a very, very different time back then. And so I thought I hated it. It was not my choice to live here. So when I was 18, I left and I moved back to the United States to go to college. And within about a week, I realized that I had actually become more Israeli than I thought.
Oh,
And I
wonderful.
knew that I would come back to Israel.
That's
And when
awesome.
I did come, yeah, oh, thank you. When I did come back when I was about 25, I wanted to study physical therapy at that time. And I told everybody, I'm moving back to Israel. I'm going to physical therapy school, not realizing that getting into physical therapy school would be, I guess, like getting into like Harvard Medical School. It's like next to impossible to get in. So I just started teaching aerobics. I started working in the fitness industry, and my clients would come up and they would say, my knee is hurting me. And it really bothered me that I could not tell them why their knee was hurting.
Yes.
And when the opportunity arose, when I was first married, that my now ex-husband, but at the time my husband wanted to live in the States for a few years to get his career started, I really wanted the opportunity to study physical therapy. And that's what I did when we moved back in 2006. No, not 2000, 2004. I started a physical therapy school in 2005.
Fantastic. Great story. Tell us, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work and how have you overcome that?
So it's interesting. I guess the most challenging thing was that I went to physical therapy school pregnant with my third child, and I was pregnant with my fourth child by the time I graduated. So I guess having children, while being in physical therapy school was really challenging, especially during
No
my
doubt.
final affiliation, which was with a very, very well-known rehabilitation center in the United States. And they kept telling me how lucky I was to be there, and I was pregnant and I had three kids at home, and they were like not nice to me. But they also told me I would never have a job in that facility. And 2 years later, I was offered to run one of their satellite facilities. So
Fabulous.
that was
Yeah,
probably one of the most challenging
that's
things.
certainly a challenge. Tell us, Ian, about an important moment in your career that virtually changed your direction.
Hmm.
Some
So I
milestone that made you really sit back and think about things.
So this was such a passionate thing for me for so many years that I don't think there was really something that made me change the direction, but I can tell you that my career changed for the better. I've always been inquisitive. I've always wanted to learn. I've always wanted to study things. And I moved back to Israel. I would actually say, I guess, after my first two jobs as a physical therapist in the United States, I did not like the facilities that I had been working in. They were very, I think they call them shake and bake in the United States, where it's
I
very,
like that.
yeah, it's like very cookie cutter. They want you to do all the same types of things, and they
Sure.
wanted you to do things that never made sense to me. So I
Yeah.
decided I wanted
All
a
it did
new
was make
job.
money for the establishment, right?
Exactly. So I decided I wanted a new job. And what I did at the time, I think that it was about 2008, and websites. It's so hard to imagine that there was a world without internet and websites, but even websites, not every business had one at the time. And I decided that I was going to find the place that I wanted to work. So I looked at all of northern New Jersey. We were living in New Jersey at the time to see what places had websites that I thought looked like fun places to work. And then I submitted resumes, and I was hired by a place. They had never hired another employee besides the two people that had started the facility. And not only they hired me like on the spot. I went in for the interview, I met with someone else, and then they offered me the job on the spot. And they got me started. They changed the direction of the way I actually help people through physical therapy. They
Oh,
were the first people to get me to look at the body functionally. The body as a unit. You could have a back problem, but it could be stemming from something in your
right.
ankle injury from years ago.
Yeah,
So I would
that's
say that was probably the pivotal place, was working for Kinetic Physical Therapy in Ramsey, New Jersey.
very interesting. Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills, you got it in spades, that have contributed to your success over the years? What do you believe they are?
Of actual schools, like in other words, like what I've learned in school.
Yeah, no, just your personal skills like discipline,
Oh, my
passion.
personal skills.
Yeah,
Okay, I apologize. Could you repeat the
you're right.
question one more time? I heard school.
Right, you're right. Okay,
Uh,
I'm probably mumbling. It's a bit a long day.
no, it's okay.
In your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have contributed to your success? I did it a bit clearer this time.
Okay, thank you. Yes. I would say that passion for learning, that passion for not accepting things at face value,
Sure.
for wanting to always look beyond, to learn more. My goal is to give people the tools to fix themselves. I'm not trying to fix anybody. And in order to do that, it's always looking for what else is out there. What else can I learn? Does this make sense to me? Does it not? But actually trying to acquire knowledge from so many different places so I can figure out maybe what the best thing is for me.
Yeah, very interesting. Tell me, do you have much to do with, or do you have any opinion on like Chinese medicine with pressure points and all that sort of stuff?
So I think I've always believed that every type of alternative treatment will work for someone, but
Yes.
not every single thing will work for every person.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I think, yeah, yes, and I think that it also depends on the practitioner.
Yes.
So you can have five physical therapists, and one or two of them can be great, and three of them might not be great. So when you hear someone say physical therapy doesn't work, or Chinese medicine doesn't work, or
Yep.
acupuncture doesn't work, often it could just be that the practitioner wasn't as skilled, or it wasn't a good match between the
Yeah.
patient or the client and the practitioner. So I believe in Chinese medicine. I believe in all of these things, and I
Yeah.
believe that
Me too.
whether it's psychological or whether it's real, if it makes somebody feel better and it's not going to hurt them, then why not do it?
Absolutely. Good point. How do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field?
So recently it's become easier because you can look at things on Instagram and TikTok or YouTube or things like that. But I guess I'm always trying to learn from other people. I'm trying to see what else is out there. And I'm really lucky who I have a 79-year-old father who is a medical doctor, but who's also a Chinese medicine doctor and an acupuncturist.
Interesting.
And so I've learned a ton from my parents. And I just find that there are just so many interesting things out there. And you can really learn from everyone if you take the time to listen to them.
Absolutely. Everyone's got a story. And the other good
Yeah.
thing is with your background and just you haven't got a job, you've got a passion. The same as me.
Yeah.
I don't work. I just have a passion. I get out every day and go, oh, here's another great day coming up. I wonder who I'm going to talk to today. You know,
It's
it's
so true.
it's
It's so true.
fabulous, right? Tell me, can you tell us about a recent project or achievement that you're particularly proud of with your work?
So I'm really proud of my podcast. I think I
Awesome.
told you
Yeah.
before we came on that
Yeah.
what prompted me, the name Holy Health, came from my wanting to bridge, my belief, I'm an Orthodox Jew, and my wanting to believe, to bridge my beliefs in the Torah with what is going on today. When I saw the way people reacted over the pandemic and that everybody freaked out, and
Yeah. Right.
I wasn't against someone else getting a vaccine if they wanted it. I was against them not believing that there were things they could do to look after their health, that they thought they had only one choice. And I believe knowledge is power. So I love what I'm doing with the podcast and how I'm spreading different ideas within the health field together with how can we find, I know you may not, as an atheist you may not believe in everything, but how do we
Oh,
bridge that together with ideas from the Bible? So it's bridging modern health ideas,
yeah.
many of which actually aren't so modern, together with ancient wisdom.
Yeah, I call it in my case, I call it common sense. I believe in certain things, but I'll question it. I'll say
Right.
why. I'm like when you're a kid, why, why? So I keep questioning things, and people don't like it. I think, well, I don't. Another one, I'll give you this one. You're going to love this one, and the audience are going to love it too. You'll all use it for the rest of your lives. I tell people, do not talk butterfly language to a caterpillar.
I like that. Yeah.
Pretty cool,
You're
huh?
right.
Right?
Yes. And I want to tell you that exactly what you said. When I get a patient, I spend an hour and a half my first visit because I am educating them on the way. You and I talked a little bit about when I said to
Yeah.
you about stability and how most people don't understand the difference between strength and stability. That comes from my belief that if you tell me to do something and you don't tell me why, I will not do it. So
Yeah.
I am constantly trying to teach people about the way things work because if you understand it, then it becomes more of a concept that you'll continue to use even after we are done with physical therapy.
You realize, of course, if we were in China, we'd both be locked up, don't you?
Yes, probably
For having,
jailed and throw away the key.
yeah, for having an opinion.
Yes,
uh,
yes.
what advice would you like to give someone aspiring to follow in your footsteps? What would you tell them?
Do it, that you should have the passion, that you should never think that everything in the world is cookie cutter, that there's a recipe for everything. I used to get upset when I would go to courses and we would try to ask the instructor, well, how does this work and how do you use it? And we really wanted a recipe. Just give us the recipe so that we can follow it. And you sort of learn that you become your own guide once you don't have people standing on top of you and you don't have instructors watching your every move and you get a different feeling for different people. So you could take three people with the same problem and you might come to a little bit of a different solution for each person. And I think that, continuing to stay inquisitive, continuing to understand that you will never know it all. Like anybody who believes that they've learned everything they need to know is someone who I don't believe is going to be necessarily great at what they do. I think we
I
all have
spent
to,
I spent $20,000 to learn this. I had four business coaches. Three of them were hopeless. I ended up coaching them. The fourth one
right.
I didn't even like. He had a bad bedside manner. It cost me 20,000. I'm going to share it with you guys. It cost me $20,000 for this. 20,000 real dollars. And it was this. You don't know what you don't know. Think about it. You don't know what you don't know. And by the way, it took me years before that even sank in. I still let the guy, I told the guy, get lost. I've had enough of you. And about 4 or 5 years later, I'm going to go, I don't know that. Hey, that guy told me I won't know what I don't know. And then, it started to sink in. And now it's my mantra, right?
You're right. You're right. And that's part of it, I believe, is understanding that you don't know everything
Not
and
at
that you
all.
can learn from everyone if you're willing to listen.
Yeah, listen to both points of view. Looking ahead,
Absolutely.
what are your goals and aspirations for the future? You obviously got many. What are they?
So I would love for my podcast to get out there more and to grow more. I
Yep.
am getting ready to start a course in my physical therapy business. I
Yes.
call it pre-army training. It's for helping soldiers prior to their starting very difficult pre-army training so that hopefully they will avoid injuries.
Lovely. Yep. What a good cause. Tell me, how can our listeners and people watching find out about you? What's the best way?
So I'm on Instagram as Dara PT613.
Yep.
My podcast is called Holy Health Podcast. It's
Hmm.
on YouTube, it's on Spotify, Apple, all of the podcast, you
Uh-huh.
know, apps. And that's the best ways, really.
And I'm going to suggest to you that you do two things in this coming year.
Sure.
And they are get yourself a Facebook group because you're an expert. Get yourself a
Thank
Facebook
you.
group and you can put a lot of stuff on your Facebook group. So they're your, what I'm trying to say to you is they become your, everyone here, get yourself, if you're in business, get a Facebook group because that's your tribe. They're your people, right? They're your people. That's your tribe. So get yourself a Facebook group, not hard to do. And then you can communicate with your tribe, right? The other one is
Great idea.
get yourself on LinkedIn because that's where some of the smarter people are, and you're obviously pretty smart, and you should be there with them.
Thank you. The truth of the matter is, I actually have LinkedIn, but I haven't really used it. So figure I'm going to change my name there to Dara Saker PT613.
Yeah,
So I'm going to take your advice later today and I'm going to go just change the name from
yeah,
the one that was difficult for you to pronounce, which was my
yeah.
business name.
And the one I just learnt recently, once again being willing to learn, I've avoided. I can't be on Viber and Skype and this. I mean, every program, guys, has got 10 variations. Which one of the
Right.
10 do you want me to be on? Right. So I'm so many already. And look, while we're here, I'm getting 15 emails, 27 WhatsApp, and 15 bloody messages, and blah. Where are you, Jeb? I'm here. I'm busy.
Right. Right.
Anyway, the one I'm going after now, I'm going to bring it in. I'm dragging, screaming and dragging to get me in because it's not so popular in this country, but other countries it is WhatsApp. I'm going to be, I'm going
Oh,
to be going into WhatsApp.
developed in Israel. Developed in Israel. I am majorly on WhatsApp.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
I realise now because I'm talking to the world, I got to get on WhatsApp and get my tribe, similar to my Facebook group, get my tribe on WhatsApp so I can just hit a button and talk to my tribe. So
Absolutely.
pretty
It's a
cool.
good
It's
one.
it's an, it's an opportunity I should have done years ago. That I've never really I wasn't listening. I wasn't ready. So but now I'm
And now
listening.
you are. Yeah,
Yeah,
now you are. It's a great platform.
yeah, absolutely. So I recommend you guys investigate, look it up. There's YouTubes out there. There's lots of information about it, and just and you won't be a star overnight, but just start slowly but surely, and it becomes second nature. I mean, after a while. You've been an awesome guest today, Sarah. Before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most, apart from riding a camel to school, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Let's see. Oh, I'm always so bad with those questions. I wish I knew it before. Let's see. My American-born children speak Hebrew better than English and speak to me in Hebrew all the time. I hmm.
You play the
I
piano. You
I
play the ukulele.
I do not. I ride a road bike and I strength train. I love hiking, But I feel like that's not so interesting. I know you're looking for something really good.
That's pretty. That's
I don't
pretty
know.
cool. You got
Yeah, I'm
four.
on the
You
spot.
got
I'm
four wonderful
sorry.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could tell you an interesting fact, sort of.
Yep.
My kids are telling me all the time to get off social media because none of my children are on social media. And
Is
they
that
all tell me
right?
to get off all the time and they think that I'm embarrassing. So
That's
one or two are on as voyeurs. Two
yeah.
of them are not on at all.
Voyeurs.
Yeah,
Voyeurs. I
and
like that.
none of them post. None of them ever post anything.
Voyeurs.
So
I
they
love
think it's embarrassing that their mother is posting and that,
that.
they're barely on and they're just looking at
I
things. So
love it. I love it.
yeah.
I challenge people, guys. Something about interesting about social media and other things. Go to a restaurant tonight. You see these people on a date night. They're on a date night, and the girl's got a phone, the guy's got a phone, and they're not
So
talking to
true.
each other. They might as well
It's
stay
so true.
home. So much for the date night, right?
It's so
So
true.
social media's got a lot to answer for, guys. It's like a pandemic almost,
It's so
It's
true.
so you gotta watch it and you gotta be aware of it, right? Put the phone down sometimes, guys. All right. You've been an awesome guest. Thank you for being on the show. And like Sarah, if you'd like to be on the show and get your 15 minutes of fame, don't forget to like and subscribe to his channel, and we'd love to have you on the show. And once again, thanks for being on the show, Sarah. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.